Hello and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I am Savio Rodriguez with Trions, and we are partnering with CDO Magazine, MIT CDO IQ, and the International Society of Chief Data Officers in a series of interviews. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Bruno Pereira, former Director of Data, Product, and Strategy at Foxtel Group. It's very nice to speak with you, Bruno.
Hi, Savio. Always a pleasure to talk with you and your audience. To be able to share a bit of my thoughts and my passion about data.
Thank you so much again for being here. First, I'd like our listeners to hear a little more about your career journey. Before Foxtel, you were at Santander, and before that at Citibank. These are giant financial institutions. Can you talk about the influences that led to your transition into the media industry?
Right. So it's a long short story is moving from Brazil to Australia was a major life changing for us here. So I thought, why not also try to change industries? So media was just a casual and amazing coincidence. So once I landed here in Australia, I made a few interviews trying to find, what would be the next step. And I got really lucky. I got offers from telcos, from banks, of course, aviation, and also Foxtel. And the reason why I've chosen Foxtel was because of initially the manager. So the person who actually have hired me was my boss. She was an amazing person. And, when you go to an interview and you see that there is a match straight away. So that was the first reason. The second reason was Foxtel is a Australian company, although the big owners or the corporation is like a News Corp corporation, which is like worldwide, like huge media company. But here in Australia, it's quite like a small and tight company. So really Australian culture ways of working. So that's mainly the second reason why I've chosen Foxtel instead of telcos or banks, etc. And I'm so happy that I've done that.
Thank you for sharing that, Bruno. And it definitely must have been a transition coming in from Brazil to Australia. And it's the media industry is something, it's very challenging and evolving over the last few years. So let's talk about building an effective data analytics team. You've led data teams both on and offshore throughout your career. What have you learned from your experiences that you are applying at Foxtel, specifically with regard to the organizational structures that are essential for long-term growth?
Yeah, so structure for me, it's actually one of the most important components of a company, right? And I believe organizational structures can help dictate culture, value, and success. So in my opinion, and it could sound like a bit weird, but in my opinion, it's quite important for the organization to truly have the aiming, the passion, and desire for data structures. And by saying that, I mean that this organization should have like a chief data analytics officer reporting to the CEO, for example, not reporting to the CIO or the CTO or the CFO even. And by having someone senior sitting at the same table, like with the board table with the CEO, CFO, this person will be able to provide unbiased information to support the business and to make the right decision for the future of the strategy of its company. So I understand this may cause like a major noise in our market, but the reality is the data should be driving us towards the future of technology, products, etc. And hence the importance of having someone on the board of the directors.
No, well said, Bruno, especially data, being that core and central for directing the strategy of products for future. You've been a product owner for multiple self-service businesses applications. Could you tell us about some of the challenges you faced with getting development teams and key stakeholders on the same page? And could you also share some effective techniques for collectively driving product success across the enterprise?
Yeah, it is. I think the biggest challenge was always to combine ideas and concepts coming from the business and try to implement that into like a self-service tool, for example. And on top of that, we always need to make sure that we are reporting like the right data, accurate data. So in order to get to this point, like we've created here at Foxtel a role that we used to call analytics enablement lead. So which in its skill-wise, it's like a tech BA, but with a really good experience working as an insights analyst. So it's someone that can do the bridge between the business, that was sitting with the business as insights analyst, but also knows a lot technical wise, how we develop technology wise, etc. So it's really good. And in terms of techniques, I think like a few techniques that I tend to apply in order to get the alignment is to have everyone, including executives, in the same table to discuss the pain points, roadmaps, development phases, etc., which we usually happens at the end of every sprint. So we're now here working in agile methodology, and we have sprints, we have like daily meetings, stand-ups, etc., and all these sessions, short sessions, 5, 10, 15-minute session, help us to address any issues or solutions in the middle of sprints, for example.
Yeah, I think the sprints, as we continue to drive them, I've also seen that you have a strong track record of advocating best practices, applications of data and analytics to meet business challenges and inspire new ways of thinking. So what have been some of the challenges you have encountered when it comes to transforming organizational mindsets?
That's a great question. So I would say people overall, like they do not understand or actually don't want to understand data, and they strongly believe in owning their gut feeling. And I'm talking especially people with more like conventional, conservative mindset, which believe that by doing the same thing, which they have been doing for quite a while, and they have been success, it means they will always keep getting the same results or even better results. So I've been challenging, especially here, like at Foxtel, like which is a company that here in Australia, it's over 25 years, and the leadership team, it's pretty much the same guys who have started like back in the days. So what I've been trying to go through with them, it's a whole process of education, and of course, like the three, if I have to tell you like 3 points that it was my I think it was the reason why we got so successful, and we've changed the business here. Like we all here in the data space, we had to be resilient. We had to be like patient and perseverance, but after that, like we've managed to bring them on board, explain to them why and how data was giving them the insights that they need to enable them to make great decisions. And since then, like we've been like a really successful company.
No, thank you, Bruno, for sharing that. And as you said, resilience, perseverance, and patience, it boils down to most of that. I've been speaking with Bruno Pereira, former director of data, product, and strategy at Foxtel Group. Look for part 2 of this series right here on CDO Magazine, where we'll talk about making sure your data science initiatives are tied to the business strategy and some concerns around AI. Thank you, Bruno. Please visit CDO Magazine Tech for additional interviews.
Thank you.